What is up, my fellow humans of the internet? It's me, your buddy Nessa, and this is Squared Circle Addicts. Happy Monday, guys. We are one night away removed from Elimination Chamber, so that's what I kind of want to do with this video. I want to give you guys my takeaways from last night, plus I would like to talk about the huge news that we have regarding the first ever, or not first ever, but the first inductees to the 2009 Hall of Fame. As you can tell, I am wearing my Bayley gear, my Sasha Banks hat. The Boss and Hug Connection are the very first women's tag team champions. Now that is the first match that was on the card, and I don't want to delve too much into that match because I did a live reaction of the match on this very YouTube channel. So if you want to go check that out, feel free to do so. So that was the first match on the card. Phenomenal match. Everybody had a great showing. The Riot Squad, honestly, to me, aside from the Boss and Hug Connection and Fire and Desire, were the MVP standouts of that match, especially with the double cross body off the top of the chamber pod from Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan onto Tamina and Nia Jax. I thought it was phenomenal. There was this point in the match too where everybody had a time to shine as far as like doing their signature moves and moves that matter. Like, honestly, it was so much to keep up with. It was a great match. Ultimately, the final two were the final two teams that started off the match, Boss and Hug Connection and Fire and Desire, and Boss and Hug Connection picking up the win via Sasha Banks doing an inverted bank statement because of her injured shoulder onto Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville tapped out. It was an amazing moment. There was a post-interview after the match, and both Bayley and Sasha showed their emotions, and honestly, it was great. Like I said, if you watched the previous prediction videos, they obviously weren't my first choice going into the match. I was rooting for the Squad wholeheartedly, but I can't complain about the Boss and Hug Connection winning because it's well-deserved after being stuck in start and stop storylines for the past 2 years, and I'm so glad that they have this chance to have this title reign, so I'm happy about that. Second match on the card was Shane McMahon and Miz versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The segment started off rather with Miz coming out, introducing his wife, and then saying that they had a big announcement, and they have baby number 2 on the way, so congrats to them. The match was phenomenal. Of course, Shane McMahon had some pretty risk-taking spots. He did the flying off the top turnbuckle into the table. I mean, it was a great match. Ultimately, the Usos won, and I'm really, really happy about that because the Usos are a legitimate tag team, and I think that they can help restore merit to the tag team division. It's no disrespect to Shane and The Miz, but I prefer the Usos, so I'm happy that they won. The third match on the card was Finn Balor versus Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship on a 2-on-1 handicap match. Finn Balor ended up winning because Lio Rush ate the pin after the coup de grace, and then Bobby Lashley, after the match, got pissed off and chokeslammed Lio Rush, so I don't know if their time together is done. But more importantly, Finn Balor walked out as Intercontinental Champion, his second title reign since being in the WWE. Obviously, his first one didn't go too well because he had an injury and he had to relinquish the WWE Universal Championship. So honestly, I'm so glad that Finn now has gold around his waist once again. And I hope that he can bring some prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship because honestly, after Seth Rollins lost it, it was kind of like, alright, what are we doing with it now? So, huge congrats to Finn Balor. I'm super happy for him, and we'll see what happens going forward. We'll see who his WrestleMania opponent is and things like that. Hopefully the storyline with Bobby Lashley is done, but who knows. The fourth match on the card, honestly, should have been a throwaway match, and I don't even know why we had it on the main card. It should have honestly been on the pre-show as opposed to the cruiserweight match that was on the pre-show. By the way, Buddy Murphy retained, so congrats to him. But But the match was Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman in a no disqualification match. This match had far too much time, and I'll get into why I think that a little bit later. But obviously, Braun Strowman walked away with the win because there was a 3-on-1 attack from him, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre, where they put him through 2 tables in the form of a Shield powerbomb-like move. So honestly, that match, I could care less about it. The next match on the card was Ronda Rousey defending her Raw Women's Championship against Ruby Riott. And I want to make this perfectly clear. I knew going into the match that Ruby Riott was not going to win, because obviously the plan for WrestleMania is Ronda versus Becky, or Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte. We still don't know what's going to happen with that, but that's the ultimate plan, right? So I knew Ruby wasn't going to win. And again, hear me out. I love Ronda Rousey. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Ronda Rousey. I have been following her career since 2013. But I am absolutely disgusted with the way that they made Ruby Riott tap out so quickly. Again, they could have given that match more time than they gave Braun and Baron Corbin. I was absolutely disappointed. It pissed me off, especially because leading up to this match, you had Ruby cutting promos about how she feels overlooked and underestimated, and the fact that she tapped out so quickly pretty much proves those sentiments, right? Obviously, I don't agree with those sentiments, but doing that is diminishing to her as a wrestler. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She's had amazing matches on the indies as Hayley Lovelace. She's had amazing matches on NXT. She's had amazing matches back when she was on SmackDown. I mean, she was a title contender for Charlotte Flair, and now she's tapping out in mere seconds to Ronda Rousey. I get it. They want to build Ronda Rousey as this dominant force and whatnot, but I still don't think it was okay. I think it would have been okay had she lost, but gave Ronda the fight of her life, and then Ronda being like, okay, you're right. I underestimated you. I overlooked you. I'm sorry. I'll never do that again. But that's just me. That's how I would have booked it. Of course, I'm not working for WWE in any facet, but I wish I was, because, like I said, that just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I wrote this on my personal Facebook yesterday and on my Twitter. It almost feels like WWE is trying to get me to turn against Ronda Rousey, just because, honestly, I think her booking has been ridiculous, and I just wasn't okay with it. The only upside to that segment was there was a stare down between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, and then out of nowhere comes the man. She comes through the crowd limping on her crutches. She has a hard time getting in the ring. She's hobbling around. She's wearing a Kill Bill esque outfit. Instead of it being all yellow with the black stripe, it's all black with the yellow stripe. And she comes in, and the commentators are like, what is she doing here? She's not supposed to be here. She's suspended. And there's this part where her and Charlotte are staring each other down. She throws the clutch to the crutch to Charlotte Flair. Flair catches it, and then Becky proceeds to beat the living crap out of Charlotte Flair with those crutches. And Ronda, this is probably the best part, Ronda just sitting there looking like, oh, all right, Becky, do your thing. I ain't gonna stop you. And then there's this point where Becky and Ronda have this moment, and Becky's like, don't you want to beat her up too? Like, she's wronged you too. Get your revenge. And then she tosses the crutch to Ronda, and Ronda looks like she's about to beat up Charlotte when, bam, out of nowhere, Becky clocks Ronda with the crutch and starts beating the crap out of Ronda with the crutch. And then the crowd is just, yes, yes, yes. Like, they're absolutely losing their minds. I thought it was phenomenal. Finally, security gets out there. They, get control of the situation. And then Becky is escorted out of the arena in handcuffs. And then she has this big, cheesy smile on her face, and she has her head held high. And it was just phenomenal. Honestly, probably one of the better moments of Elimination Chamber last night. And I don't know what's going to happen on Raw tonight, but we'll see the aftermath. I don't know. I'm curious. Then after that match, again, it was actually no. Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin were after this match. Sorry about that, guys, and maybe that's why I was a little bit pissed, because it was just like, really, dude? Are you serious? Is this really happening? But, you know, that match happened. But then, of course, we had the main event, Elimination Chamber match, where Daniel Bryan defended his WWE Championship against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, and Kofi Kingston. Oh my god, that match was 100% a thrill ride from start to finish. But the MVP of that match, the story in this match, was the fight that Kofi Kingston put up. There were so many times where, you know, Daniel Bryan attempted to do the label lock. He did the flying knee. He even went for the headbutt thing. But so many times, Kofi Kingston just kept kicking out. Kept kicking out. There were many times where I thought, oh my goodness, Kofi Kingston's going to win this, because he did the, you know, Trouble in Paradise. He did the SOS. He did the boom drop. I was like, oh my god, they're going to let Kofi Kingston win on Black History Month. But unfortunately, it did not happen. Daniel Bryan retained his championship after one final flying knee. But I think ultimately, hopefully anyway, this sets up Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania, because last night Kofi Kingston proved that after 11 years he deserves to be WWE Champion. I don't care if you disagree with me. If you do, I have to ask why. But man, Kofi Kingston, he put on an amazing performance, and honestly, that dude has earned everybody's respect. The energy in that crowd, it's like I wish I could have been there, because they were solely behind Kofi. They were cheering for him, and like it felt like every single second of that match was taking the breath out of you. Like, there were so many close calls. My heart was just like pounding. And then when Daniel Bryan lost, like, I think even Corey Graves alluded to the fact that the air had been sucked out of the building, because everyone just went silent, almost like, shit, man, like, we almost had it and we didn't. And then New Day came out to be there with their buddy, and there was this moment where they're like, you have nothing to be ashamed of, you should be proud. Kofi got emotional, I got emotional. It was great. It was a great way to end off the show. Like I said, again, I hope this leads to Bryan versus Kofi at WrestleMania, because I think that would be incredible. So yeah, that was the Chamber. I thought it was a great pay-per-view. Honestly, WWE has been doing good this year. It's barely, you know, the second pay-per-view of the year, but they're on fire right now, and I think that they are stepping up their game with other, you know, promotions coming in as almost, not necessarily a threat, but I feel like they know that other people are watching, so I feel like this is them kind of stepping up their game. Now, the last thing I want to talk about that is far more important than Elimination Chamber results is the very first inductees for the 2019 Hall of Fame. News broke today that it will be none other than the faction, the ever-changing, not ever-changing, but the most impactful faction probably in WWE history, in my opinion, the Generation X, Triple H, Road Dogg Jesse James, Billy Gunn, and the ninth wonder of the world, China. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it. It happened. It happened. It happened. China is finally getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, taking her rightful spot. I know there's a lot of people that might be saying, well, I wish it was a solo induction, which I totally get, 100%. But at the same time, beggars cannot be choosers. We have been clamoring for this for such a long time, especially even after her death. And when that video was recently released in recent weeks about her wanting to make amends with the WWE, I just think this is a beautiful moment. I'm just happy that she's in it, because, you know, there were those talks about how she would never be in it based on her past career choices after the WWE, and then other people were saying that's just WWE's way of excusing it because of the drama that Steph and Triple H and her have. But let all of that bygones be bygones, because, ladies and gentlemen, the ninth wonder of the world is going into the Hall of Fame. She's someone that I grew up on, and I couldn't be any more happier for her. This is well deserved. I think come Hall of Fame night. It's going to be an emotional one. We're probably going to cry. I know I'm probably going to cry. So congrats to China. It is so well deserved. You are missed. You are loved. I can only imagine how happy her family feels, how us fans feel. This is a win. This is a win tonight, a win today, and I'm so happy. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Enjoy Raw if you're watching, because I know I'm going to be watching, because I'm intrigued to see if Becky Lynch is going to show up or what the new Intercontinental Champion is going to do. Of course, hopefully we have a coordination for our lovely first-time ever Women's Tag Team Champions, Boston Hug Connection. There's so much to look forward to. So you guys enjoy Raw, you take care, you stay safe, but most importantly, stay addicted to the Squared Circle. And as always, if you like what you see, please turn on those post notifications and subscribe. And also, if you like my opinions, feel free to follow me on my personal social media accounts on Twitter and Instagram at GreatLove91. And until then, I'll see you guys next time on Friday. Have a good day. Later.